That's Raymond Burr, and I'm Jan Wall. Welcome to Jan Wall's Showbiz. This is a very personal, special piece I have hanging up in my home. This is Raymond Burr. I did the last interview with Raymond Burr when he was in San Francisco at the Nico Hotel, and it was for the last episode, kind of a reboot of Perry Mason. I got an autograph to my husband, Russ. That's because Raymond Burr met Russ on an aircraft carrier in the 60s. Russ was actually in the mechanics department, in the machinery shop of the aircraft carrier, way down in the bowels of this huge ship. And who comes down the steps but this kind of heavy man in a Hawaiian shirt? And Russ said, "My God, it's Perry Mason." He said, "Well, I'm Raymond Burr." And Russ took him around the ship and all of this. Well, it turned out he just wanted to say hi to the guys, which was really nice of him. So many, many years later, there I am doing the last interview with him, and he signed a napkin, that's kind of a napkin, to Russ, to my husband, because he remembered that he met Russ on the USS Hancock. Isn't that crazy? So he's very special to us and has remained so. By the way, he had a very happy life. He had an orchid island. He had wonderful property up in Sonoma, Napa. And also he had a 50-year love affair with a man who was very special to him, who I got to meet. So I'm not bringing him out of the closet. He was out of the closet. But he was a wonderful actor in the early days. He did some film noirs, of course. And then, of course, he became Perry Mason. So that's my fun thing that's around the house. So we've done Salvador Dali. We've done Jimmy Stewart, so why not do Raymond Burr? And why not do a friend of mine, a guy I've actually gotten to know, John Waters. John Waters, as we all know, did one of my favorite comedies ever made, and as you know, we all know who John Waters is. It was called Serial Mom. I just think it's the funniest movie with Kathleen Turner. And John Waters in general, Hairspray and Polyester and all these wonderful movies, Cry Baby. Well, every year, somehow I got on his Christmas card list. And every year he sends a really sick, twisted Christmas card about what he thought of the year before. And this is kind of gross, people, but it is John Waters. So here it is. This is John Waters' Christmas card. And this is what he thought of 2020. You'll only see it here. And Jan Wall's Showbiz. And inside it says, what a year, John Waters. So this is Johnny's card to me this year. Thank you, John. And thanks to all of you who love John the way I do. Now, let's go into some showbiz fun here, too, this is a wonderful book that came out this year, okay? It's called Dangerous Curves Atop Hollywood Heels. Is that like the best title ever? Dangerous Curves Atop Hollywood Heels. Okay, and it's by Michael Ankrich, and it's the lives, careers, and misfortunes of 14 hard luck gals of the silent screen. You hear about the stars. You hear about the ones who made it. How about the ones who didn't? Such an interesting book. So it's called Dangerous Curves Atop Hollywood Heels. These poor, poor women who got to Hollywood, had everything going for them, and ended up waitresses, prostitutes, God knows what. And some of them just went back home and married the closest boy they could find. So anyway, it's a lot of fun, and I really recommend it. Now let's do a little watching on the big screen, small screen, however you watch. 2020's been a year where you learn how to watch on the small screen, and the Academy Awards are going to go to things on the small screens. Everything's changing in our world. We have to change with it, but still love show business. So this is Annie Get Your Gun. Now, I don't like Betty Hutton in this role. It should have gone, of course, to Judy Garland, but she was too sick to do it. They tried. So Judy Garland couldn't do it. They have some footage of her that I'm sure many of you can see on YouTube of her trying to do it, but her drugs and alcohol had really caught up with her and her mental illness. So we couldn't get Judy. You know who really wanted this role and would have been perfect was Ginger Rogers. She really wanted it, and she really tried, and they wouldn't give it to her. They gave it to Betty Hutton. Unfortunately, I think she overdoes it. She wasn't directed to downplay it a little bit more. However, Remember the songs, right? There's no business like show business. That's in Annie Get Your Gun. Not to mention Anything You Can Do, I Could Do Better, and 100 other wonderful songs. So Irving, not 100, but it seems like that because Irving Berlin is classic. He lasts forever. His music is divine, and what a genius. He wrote the words and the music. Annie Get Your Gun. So that's a lot of fun. Just ignore it when Betty Hutton gets a little too crazy. Okay, now, how many of you know how much I love movies about the movies? Whether it's Sunset Boulevard, The Bad and the Beautiful, The Big Picture with Kevin Bacon. Don't miss that one. It's a recent one. And it's all about a director who loses his soul in Hollywood. So good. The Big Picture. Well, this is a book. It's called Movies About the Movies. Okay, and this is so good. It's from Kentucky Press, Christopher Ames, and this is ones you never thought of, really. You know, we all know Sunset Boulevard. We all know Pennies from Heaven, that great Woody Allen film. And Singing in the Rain, of course, about what happens when we go from silent movies to talkies. But this has other things. This has all the Stars Born. Everything about the Stars Born comes out of show business, so that's really great. It has Sullivan's Travels, the Robert Altman movie, The Player. These are all movies about Hollywood, movies about the movies. Everything that's just terrific. Last Action Hero, the What Price Hollywood, right? In a Lonely Place. Oh, the best Humphrey Bogart, Gloria Graham movie about a mad screenwriter. Or is he mad? Wonderful Humphrey Bogart. Okay, so this is called Movies About the Movies, Hollywood Reflected. Really great. And when an irresistible force such as you. This is a wonderful musical. Now, Fred Astaire thought he was too old for Daddy Longlegs. He wasn't. He just, it's hard because the leading lady is quite young, and that's played by Leslie Caron, you know, like Gigi and all these other wonderful Leslie Caron things in American in Paris. Well, it's a magical musical following a young French girl who ends up having a mysterious man be her benefactor. The dancing in this is great, the musical numbers. It also comes with a audio commentary by a wonderful film historian and also Movie Tone newsreels. I mean, this is a lot of fun. And you can get this either on YouTube. It also has the great character actress, Thelma Ritter. You know, I'll be doing a whole class in character actors and actresses, and she was one of the best. Thelma Ritter, like Eve Arden, like all these great ladies, character actresses. Anyway, Daddy Longlegs, so much fun. Don't miss it. Now, this has been a year where Turner Classic Movies has been so important to a lot of us, and TCM has my favorite commentator, host, whatever you call him. He is so good. He's so terrific. His name is Eddie Muller, and he does Noir Alley. It's about film noir, and he's the czar of film noir. I mean, he's just fantastic. Well, he writes books too. So Eddie Muller wrote this book called Dark City Dames, okay? Dark City Dames, the wicked women of film noir. First of all, wicked women, right up my alley, right? But also, it's Eddie Muller, and he is just so good on Turner Classic Movies, doing the best intros because they're detailed. They're full of film history. They're full of the sociology of the filmmakers themselves, their backstories. Eddie Muller is so good. So anyway, this has wonderful kind of reflections of the women of film noir, including the women, Joan Blondell and Colleen Gray, in one of my favorite movies ever made, Nightmare Alley, which is so weird, with Tyrone Power, when he was trying to bust out of being the pretty boy actor. Oh man, is it noir and spooky. Anyway, this is really good. This is Dark City Dames, Eddie Muller. And finally, this has been a good year because I was given a great gift. This is called On Cukor, or Cukor, however you pronounce it. He was one of the greatest filmmakers of all times, George Cukor. He gave us Stars Born with the great Judy Garland and James Mason. Also, a movie I love, Inside Daisy Clover, The Philadelphia Story. I mean, it's amazing what George Cukor gave us. Little Women, the Katharine Hepburn one, a lot of the Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy movies, like my favorite, Pat and Mike. This is all about Cukor talking to Gavin Lambert, who is a really great writer. And he asked some good questions, and Cukor just lets it out. So there's the good, the bad, and the ugly from George Cukor's point of view. This is called On Cukor by Gavin Lambert. I hope you'll pick it up. Wonderful pictures in it too, all kinds of pictures and comments, and oh, it's just fantastic. So there's so much to love about showbiz. So here I am, Jan Wall, saying to all of you, enjoy 2021. We're going to go into it loving show business. I have just at the end here a couple of things I've loved this year that I want to tell you about. Go into YouTube right now and look up something really great called 2020 Musical, Jimmy Fallon. Just write 2020 Musical, Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy Fallon, the late night show host, does this wonderful musical number. And it's really good, all these musical numbers together with one of his very talented colleagues who won the Tony for the Book of Mormon. But anyway, it's all these musicals put together using words that remind us of how challenging, really challenging 2020 was. And then also right now, I want people to see The Prom. The Prom is wonderful. You can catch up with The Crown like I'm doing, finally. There's also Mae West's Dirty Blonde. We've talked about that on this show quite a lot. Don't forget Critical Thinking by John Leguizamo. Wonderful movie about chess. All these things you can find on YouTube, on everywhere, Netflix. Everything's out there for us. So we're going to make it a great showbiz 2021. Happy New Year.